Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Viral English Class.
Hi, guys. It's really good to have you here with us today.
Hey, can I ask you something a little strange? It's been on my mind recently, and I'm not really sure how to explain it.
A strange question. That already sounds interesting. Yes, go ahead. I'm listening.
Why do small conversations feel so big sometimes? I mean, they are short, simple, and normal, but the feeling is not simple at all.
Oh, I understand that feeling. You mean those everyday moments, right? Like talking to someone in a lift or saying something small to a stranger.
Yes, exactly. Those tiny moments. They should be easy, but somehow they feel a little uncomfortable.
That's very true. It's funny, isn't it? Something so small can feel so heavy in your mind.
Yes, and when we watch other people, it looks completely natural. They speak so easily.
Right. You see two people having a simple conversation, maybe about the weather or something small, and it feels relaxed.
Yes, like nothing special is happening.
But when it's your turn, everything changes.
Exactly. Even a simple sentence feels difficult, like saying, "Nice day today," suddenly feels like a big moment.
Yes, like you're on a stage and everyone is watching you.
That's exactly the feeling. Your mind becomes very active, but your words disappear.
Yes, that moment when your brain just stops working.
Yes, like it takes a break at the worst time.
You know the words, you've learned them, but in that moment, nothing comes out.
It's like everything freezes. You want to speak, but you don't know how to begin.
And then comes the silence.
Yes, the silence that feels longer than it really is.
Sometimes it's only a few seconds, but it feels much longer.
And during those seconds, your mind is working very hard.
Too hard, actually.
Yes, you start thinking, what should I say? Is this correct? Will I sound strange?
And then another thought comes. Maybe I should just stay quiet.
And then you say nothing.
And later, you remember that moment again for no reason.
Yes, your brain brings it back at night.
Like a replay.
Exactly, a replay of a very small moment.
But it feels important.
It does.
You know, I think small talk is not really small.
I agree.
It's often the beginning of something.
Yes, it can create a connection.
And it can make your day feel a little warmer.
That's true.
Even a short conversation can make you feel more comfortable.
And more confident.
Yes.
And let's be honest.
Go ahead.
Small talk can save you from standing somewhere like a very polite statue.
Yes, just standing there, smiling, doing nothing.
Exactly, hoping the moment ends soon.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
What do you think people are more afraid of? Grammar mistakes or feeling awkward?
I think feeling awkward.
Same.
Because grammar mistakes are normal.
Yes, everyone makes them.
But awkward silence feels different.
It feels emotional.
Exactly.
So maybe small talk is not really about perfect English.
Yes, it's about something else.
Connection?
Yes, connection, comfort, and just being present.
That sounds much easier.
You don't need perfect words.
Or a perfect accent.
You just need a simple way to begin.
And a calm mind.
Yes, when your mind is calm, your words come more easily.
Not always, but more often.
We are still human.
Very important reminder.
So today, we're going to explore this slowly.
Yes, step by step, in a relaxed way.
We'll talk about why small talk feels difficult
How to start it,
and how to make it feel more natural.
and maybe a little easier.
Yes,
Before we continue, here's a simple question.
go ahead.
When was the last time you wanted to say something simple, but you said nothing?
If you know that feeling,
Then this lesson is for you.
So let's go a little deeper into this feeling.
Yes, because I still don't fully understand why something so small feels so big.
That's a good place to start. Let me ask you something simple.
Okay, I'm ready.
When you're about to speak to someone, what is the first thought in your mind?
I think, what should I say?
That's very common.
And then the second thought comes.
Which is?
Is it correct?
Ah, yes.
And then the third thought is, will I sound strange?
So now you have 3 thoughts before you even speak one word.
Yes, and it feels like too much.
Exactly. That's where the pressure begins.
So it's not just about speaking.
No, it's about thinking too much before speaking.
That makes sense.
And all of this happens very fast,
Yes, in just a few seconds.
which is why it feels so intense.
I also feel something else sometimes.
What do you feel?
I feel like I must say something interesting.
Ah, that's another important point.
Yeah, like I need a good sentence.
Something impressive?
Yes, something that sounds smart.
And what happens if you don't find that perfect sentence?
I stay quiet.
Exactly. So now we have 2 problems.
2?
Yes. First, too many thoughts. Second, too much expectation.
That already sounds heavy.
It is. And remember, this is just for a small conversation.
That's the strange part. But why do we expect so much from such a small moment?
Because it happens in real time.
Real time.
Yes, you don't have time to prepare.
That's true.
You can't pause the moment and think slowly.
You just have to respond.
Exactly.
So it feels like a test,
Yes, like a small test.
even if no one is testing me.
That's the key. No one is testing you, but it feels like it.
That's a little funny and a little sad.
Yes, our mind creates pressure where there is none. I also notice something else.
Go on.
When I speak my native language, I don't think like this.
Of course not.
I just speak.
Yes, because you feel safe.
Safe, that's the word. But in English, you feel less safe.
Yes, I feel more careful.
More careful and more self-aware.
Yes, I think about myself too much.
Exactly. So now we can see something clearly.
What is it?
The problem is not your English.
Really?
Yes, the problem is the pressure you put on yourself.
That feels very true.
So if I reduce the pressure,
Your speaking becomes easier,
even if my English is not perfect,
especially if it is not perfect.
that's interesting. Let me tell you something important.
Okay.
Small talk is not about being impressive.
Then what is it about?
It's about being normal.
Normal?
Yes, simple, human, real.
That sounds much easier.
It is easier when you accept it.
So I don't need a perfect sentence.
No,
I don't need a smart idea.
no. Then what do I need? Just one simple thought and one simple sentence.
That's all.
That's all.
This changes how I see it.
Good. Because before I thought I needed to perform.
And now?
Now it feels more like just talking.
Exactly.
But I still feel a little nervous. That's normal.
So the goal is not to remove nervousness completely.
No, the goal is to speak even with a little nervousness.
That feels more realistic.
It is. So, if I understand correctly,
Yes?
small talk feels difficult because I think too much, I expect too much, and I feel watched.
That's a very clear summary.
I'm learning.
You are.
So, what should I do in that moment?
That's the next step.
Ah, I was waiting for that.
Yes, now that we understand the problem, we can look at the solution.
All right, now let's move into something more practical.
Yes, please, because understanding is nice, but I still need to actually speak.
Exactly. So let's imagine a simple situation.
Okay.
You are standing next to someone, maybe in a lift, or in a line, or at a cafe.
Yes, a very normal situation.
And there is silence.
The dangerous silence again.
Yes, the same silence.
So, what do I say?
Here's the simplest idea. Don't create something new, just use what is already there.
What do you mean?
Look around you.
Okay.
What can you see?
Maybe the weather, the place, the situation?
Exactly. You don't need a creative sentence. You just need an honest observation.
An observation.
Yes, something simple.
Like, it's really hot today.
Perfect.
That's enough?
That's enough.
It still feels a bit too simple.
That's the point.
Hmm.
Simple is good in small talk.
Because it's natural.
Yes, and easy to understand.
Okay, give me more examples.
Sure. If you are in a long line, you can say, "This line is really long today."
That feels very real.
If you are in a cafe, "That coffee smells good."
Oh, I like that one.
Or if you see a dog, "Your dog is very cute."
That one feels safe.
Yes, dogs are very helpful in small talk.
Good to know. So the idea is, don't try to be impressive.
Just be natural.
That sounds easier.
It is easier.
But what about my tone?
Ah, very important.
Because sometimes even simple words feel strange.
Yes, the way you say it matters.
So what should I do?
Speak in a friendly way.
Friendly, not serious.
Yes, light, relaxed, open.
Not like a robot.
Definitely not like a robot.
Good. I'll try to avoid that.
Also, your body language helps.
Body language.
Yes, your face, your eyes, your posture.
So I should smile.
A small smile helps a lot.
And eye contact?
Yes, but natural, not too strong.
Not staring like a detective.
Exactly, not like a detective.
So simple words, friendly tone, relaxed body.
Perfect combination.
This feels more manageable.
Good.
Okay, let's say I say something and the other person responds.
Good sign.
Yes, nobody ran away.
Excellent progress.
But then what do I do next?
Now you listen.
Just listen?
Yes, carefully.
And then
Use what they said.
use it. How?
Ask a small follow-up question.
Ah, follow up.
All right, now let's talk about something very real.
Yes, because I feel like this is where things become difficult.
Exactly. Let's imagine this situation.
Okay,
You start a conversation. Everything is fine at the beginning,
that sounds good so far.
but then suddenly something feels strange.
Ah, that moment.
Yes, that moment when the conversation becomes a little uncomfortable.
I know that feeling very well.
Maybe the other person gives a short answer,
Or they don't seem very interested.
or there's a small silence and it feels big again.
Yes, and then your mind starts working very fast.
Too fast.
You start thinking, what should I do now? Did I say something wrong?
And sometimes you want to escape.
Yes, just leave the situation.
But here's something important.
What is it?
Not every awkward moment is a problem.
Really?
Yes, some moments are just normal.
That's interesting.
Conversations are not perfect. They move up and down.
So a strange moment does not mean failure?
Not at all.
That already feels better.
Good.
So what should I do when things feel awkward?
First, stay calm.
That sounds simple, but not easy.
Yes, but it helps a lot.
Okay, I'll try to stay calm.
Second, keep things light.
Light?
Yes, don't make the moment too serious.
So I don't need to fix everything?
Exactly. You don't need to rescue the conversation.
That's a relief.
Sometimes just a small response is enough.
Like what?
If someone gives a short answer, you can just smile and say, "Yeah, I understand."
That feels natural.
Or you can gently change the topic.
Without making it obvious?
Yes, smooth and simple.
That sounds manageable.
And here's something else.
I'm listening.
Sometimes the other person feels awkward too.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yes, it's not always about you.
That's true.
Maybe they are tired or shy or just not ready to talk.
So it's not my responsibility to make everything perfect.
Exactly.
That takes away a lot of pressure.
Good.
So what if I don't understand something?
That's a very important moment.
Yes, I feel nervous when that happens.
Many people do.
Because I don't want to look confused.
But here's the truth.
Tell me.
It is completely okay to ask.
Really?
Yes, asking is part of communication.
So I can say, sorry, what does that mean?
Perfect.
Or can you explain that?
Very good.
That feels more natural than pretending.
Much better than pretending.
Yes, pretending makes everything more confusing.
Exactly.
So asking actually helps the conversation.
Yes, it keeps it alive.
I like that idea.
Good.
So now what about ending a conversation?
Ah, another important skill.
Yes, sometimes I don't know how to stop.
That's very common.
I just stand there, smiling, waiting.
Yes, waiting for the moment to end naturally.
But it doesn't always happen.
No, sometimes you need to end it.
So how do I do that politely?
Use simple and kind sentences.
Like what?
You can say, "It was nice talking to you."
That sounds warm.
Or, "I need to go now, but it was really nice talking with you."
That feels respectful.
Yes, it shows appreciation.
And it gives a clear ending.
Exactly.
So no more standing like a statue.
No more statue moments.
That's good news.
Very good news.
So let me see if I understand everything.
Go ahead.
If the conversation feels awkward, I stay calm.
Yes.
I keep things simple.
Good.
I don't try to fix everything.
Exactly.
And I remember that the other person is human too.
Perfect.
And if I don't understand, I ask.
Yes.
And when it's time to finish, I end politely.
That's a complete skill.
Wow, that feels much clearer now.
I'm glad.
I feel less afraid of small talk.
That's the goal.
Not perfect, but more comfortable.
And that is enough. Now, let's make this very practical.
Yes, I like that. I want something I can really use.
Good. Let's imagine tomorrow morning,
Okay.
you walk into a place, maybe work, maybe a cafe, and you see someone.
Yes, a normal situation.
What is the easiest thing you can do?
Maybe just say hello?
Exactly. Start simple.
Just hello?
Yes, or hi. That is already a good beginning.
That feels easy.
Good. After that, you can add one small sentence.
Like what?
Something about the moment. For example, "It's a bit busy today."
That sounds natural.
Or, "It's quite quiet this morning."
Yes, I can say that.
You see, nothing complicated.
Yes, very simple.
And simple is powerful.
I'm starting to believe that.
Good.
What if the other person answers?
Then you continue with one small question.
Only one?
Yes, keep it light.
Okay, like, do you like it like this?
Perfect.
Or, is it always this busy?
Very good.
That feels like a real conversation.
Because it is.
I like that.
And remember, you don't need many questions.
So, I don't need to talk a lot.
No, small talk is not about talking a lot.
Then what is it about?
It's about sharing a moment.
That sounds calm.
It should feel calm.
That's very different from how I imagined it before.
Yes, many people think it must be exciting,
Or very interesting.
but actually, it is often very ordinary.
And that's okay?
That's perfect.
So ordinary is good.
Yes,
I feel less pressure now.
good.
What about when I don't know what to say next?
That will happen sometimes.
Yes, I'm sure.
In that moment, you can go back to something simple.
Like what?
You can repeat the topic in a different way.
Oh, like saying it again.
Yes, but with different words.
Can you give me an example?
If you talked about the weather, you can say, I think it will be hot all day.
That's easy.
Or if you talked about a place, this place is always busy, right?
Yes, that keeps it going.
Exactly.
So I don't need new ideas all the time.
No, you can stay with the same idea.
That makes things much easier.
Good.
And what about listening?
Very important.
Sometimes I focus too much on speaking.
Yes, but listening helps you relax.
How?
Because you don't need to create everything.
Ah, I can use what the other person says.
Exactly.
So listening gives me ideas.
Yes, and it also shows respect.
That's important.
Very.
So small talk is not only about speaking,
It's also about listening.
that feels more balanced.
Good.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
What if I feel nervous?
You probably will.
Yes, I think so.
And that's okay.
So I don't need to feel confident first?
No. Confidence often comes after action.
After action.
Yes, you speak first, then you feel better.
That makes sense.
So don't wait for the perfect feeling.
Just begin.
Exactly.
Even if it feels a little uncomfortable?
Yes, even then.
That's a good reminder.
And remember, every small conversation helps you grow,
Even the awkward ones?
especially the awkward ones.
That's a nice way to see it.
It makes the experience lighter.
Yes, less serious.
Exactly.
So I don't need to be perfect.
You just need to try.
I can do that.
Good.
I feel more ready now.
That's great.
Not perfect, but ready.
And that is enough. So, after everything we talked about, how do you feel now about small talk?
Honestly, I feel lighter.
Lighter?
Yes, before it felt like something serious, something I had to do perfectly.
And now?
Now it feels more normal, just a simple part of daily life.
That's a big change.
Yes, a small change in thinking, but it feels important.
Sometimes small changes in thinking make the biggest difference.
That's true. What do you think was the most helpful idea for you?
I think it's this. I don't need to be impressive.
That's a very good one.
Yes, I always thought I needed to say something interesting or smart.
Many people think that. But now I understand, simple is better.
Simple and real.
Yes, real feels more comfortable.
And more human.
Exactly.
Anything else that helped you?
Yes, the idea of starting with what is around me.
Ah, the situation.
Yes, the weather, the place, something I can see.
That makes starting much easier.
Very much easier. I don't need to think too much.
And less thinking means less pressure.
Yes, I like that.
What about awkward moments?
I feel better about them now.
Why?
Because I understand they are normal.
Exactly.
Not every moment needs to be perfect.
And not every silence is a problem.
Yes, that really helps.
Good.
I also like the idea that the other person is human too.
That's very important.
They might feel nervous, just like me.
Exactly.
So it's not all on me.
No, it's shared.
That takes away a lot of pressure.
Good.
I feel like small talk is not something to fear now.
That's great to hear.
It's just something to practice,
Yes, step by step.
and moment by moment.
Exactly.
I think I would try something today.
What will you try?
Just one small conversation.
That's a perfect start.
Maybe I'll say something simple, like, nice weather today.
That's more than enough.
And I won't try to be perfect.
Good.
I'll just be normal.
That's the best way.
And if it feels awkward,
You stay calm
yes,
and keep it simple.
yes,
And if it ends quickly,
that's okay too.
exactly.
This feels much easier now.
I'm really glad.
Thank you for this conversation.
You're welcome.
It helped me see things differently.
That's the goal.
Before we finish, can we ask the listener something?
Of course.
If you are listening right now, think about this.
What is one small thing you can say today?
Just one sentence.
Nothing complicated.
Just something simple and real.
And try it.
Yes, just try.
You don't need to wait for the perfect moment.
The moment is already there.
Exactly.
And remember,
Small talk is not about being perfect
it's about being human
and being present.
and being a little brave.
That's all you need.
All right, I think that's a good place to stop.
Yes, a simple and calm ending.
Take care and keep practicing.
See you next time.
Bye.